YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back, and I got some more 2019 record predictions for you guys. This video is for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going game by game, predicting their record, doing this for every single team. And at this point of the video, I like to break down my thoughts on the team real quick. I think the Cowboys are one of the more balanced teams. Very good team, really balanced throughout the roster. So they don't really have any holes. People expect them to fill out tight end or safety. So I guess they could get better in those spots, but they're pretty deep. On paper, you look at their D line. Besides DeMarcus Lawrence, there's not a whole bunch going on there, on paper. But then you got Antoine Woods, who I thought stepped up a lot last year, and then some young guys you're adding to that, and you got Robert Quinn too. So Dorrance Armstrong, I expect to step up, and Taco Charlton possibly can finally step up. You drafted Tristan Hill, so there's some good depth there. I love their linebacker unit. Their corners are solid, so it's a pretty solid team all the way through. It's just about staying healthy, obviously, which hasn't really been a huge problem for them recently. But then mainly it's about Dak. I like Dak, like this game last year. You just got to stay consistent, so it's really on him. Right before we get started with the game-by-game predictions, we have a subscriber goal at 20K. We have plenty of sports content on the channel, specializing in the NFL, all kinds of different predictions. We're also covering the NBA draft at 20K. Usually when we reach our goals, we do some kind of special video, a skit or something. Clicking that like button would be much appreciated. Checking out our Twitter in the bottom right, also a link in the description. We got polls on there, always including you guys in conversations. Any questions you have, I answer them on there. So it'd be much appreciated if you're checking it out. But into the video, onto the game-by-game predictions. The Cowboys, there's their schedule. I'm using playoffpredictors.com as a link in the description for that. It's a great website. You guys can basically play along too by using that site, and it kind of gives you the rundown of some important things. But week one's always weird, always strange outcomes that really tell us nothing about the remainder of the season. I guess that applies for week 1 and 2, but history shows, the past shows that week 1 has been like that pretty much every year. But I like the Cowboys still. I got to pick the better team, the home team here in week 1. And then week 2 in Washington, we still got to learn some more about the Redskins, who's going to be the starting quarterback. So we could revisit things like this. I know people really requested me to do this already, but a lot of things shouldn't change. So most things shouldn't change because we know the team right now. I like the Redskins at home. And they got a pretty complete team, division rival game. I think they could split. We'll see what I'm feeling when we get there. It's the first time I'm going game by game. The Dolphins at the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys at home. They're the better team. Cowboys at Saints. Yeah, the Cowboys put up a good fight with them, beat them last year, and it was a good. They really gave the Saints a challenge, is what I'm trying to say there. This time it's in New Orleans. That's a tough game. The Saints, I expect to be around the same. I'll pick the Saints in this game. That's a good game, though. Another good game is the Packers at the Cowboys. That's tough. The Cowboys were very good at home last year, and they're home in this one. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think they can give the Packers some struggles. I think they can slow their offense down enough to win the game. And then you got the Cowboys at the Jets. I like the Cowboys. And the same thing. The Jets could struggle on offense in this game. Le'Veon could have a good game. But the Cowboys do enough on defense to make the Jets struggle. And the Cowboys will be able to throw on them as well. Eagles at Cowboys. Good division game. The Eagles are good, real good in the beginning of the year because, they're healthy. Offensive line's healthy. Wentz is healthy. Kind of a gut feeling here, even though the Cowboys are home. I'm kind of just right at this moment leaning towards the Eagles. Just a gut feeling there. Bye week, the Cowboys at the Giants. It's Monday night. The home team in prime time win. They win most of the time. They're 90%, looking at last year, maybe a little more. And I'm always a fan of picking the home team. But this is tough because the Cowboys are much better. I expect some struggles from the Giants. I'm going to pick the Cowboys. Another primetime game, Sunday night football against the Vikings. And this one I'm kind of back and forth on too because you look at the matchup, it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think very similar teams. They're both very good defenses, solid defenses. They're going to force teams, these types of games, to be low scoring. But you look at their offense, both offenses can score. They had their moments last year, but then games like these, they struggle to score. I think very, very similar teams. And I usually in defensive battles like this, I would take the better defense, which I think not by much, I think is the Vikings. But this being prime time in Dallas, gives the edge to the home team, but the Vikings in the past few years have struggled in those prime time games. So for that reason, in a very good game, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. The Cowboys at the Lions. Ooh, that's a good one too. Another NFC North game back to back. That's a tough game. This is probably the toughest one actually, which is weird because, maybe the Vikings are a little better and I had the Cowboys beating them. It's going to Detroit. I think the Lions can step it up this year. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is a tough game. This is tough. I just got to go. I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. Gut feeling there. That's what I have to go off here with these game by games. I do like the Patriots at home there. I like the Cowboys at home against the Bills. Cowboys, Bears in Chicago Thursday night in the cold here, Week 14. Got to go Bears there. Week 15 is against the Rams. This time it's home. They struggled in that. Even though they kind of stuck in that game, they struggled. It didn't really look like at any part they were going to win that game. I know it was a playoff game. I know it was in LA. But for the matchup reasons, I think the Rams are better in that actual game. Cowboys, Eagles. I had the feeling about when we got to Week 7, I had a gut feeling about the Eagles winning that one. I have the gut feeling that the Cowboys win this. I don't see either of these teams sweeping each other. I can see them splitting and winning road games. I like to talk about the Eagles will be healthy, should be healthy in this part of the season, could be better then. And I also like them splitting with the Redskins, beating them at home. So I got 10-6 here. So kind of what I expected, kind of breaking down the team going in. I think they can do more damage in the playoffs since they're a team you expect to stay healthy through this point, and they're a very balanced team. They can bring different things. So I think they can be a better playoff team than really what their record shows, which 10-6 is good. But going back, games I think can go either way. I think they can definitely beat the Saints right here, but again, they can lose to the Packers right here. And then they could beat the Eagles here, but again, I don't see anybody sweeping each other, any teams here between the Cowboys and the Eagles. So then again, the Eagles could win there. The Giants, even though the Giants don't look like, they look like one of the worst teams in football at the moment. Monday night in New York could be tough. Prime time against Minnesota could be tough. The Lions game, I think, in either way game. So I think 10-6. Since I'm back and forth on the games that were very tight, there's not a bunch of games that I thought were tight that I had them winning or losing. Sometimes that happens. So then we can actually see a big range. So that's why I do that at the end of these videos. But 10-6 is about where I think they'll finish. I would say they can win 9 games. I would say I think they can win 11, maybe even 12 games because I do really like the roster. Tough schedule though. So we'll see what they can do. They got to stay healthy. It's really on Dak, but we'll see what they can do. Again, subscriber goals at 20K. Please subscribe to the channel. We got a daily NFL content, a lot of sports content too. We're going to cover the NBA draft. There's some videos on the left side of your screen that we already covered. Please check those out if you haven't quite yet. Appreciate everyone's support. Thanks for watching these videos. That's going to do it though. Goodbye.